GT Super Saiyan. GT Super Saiyan 4 is, well, I can't say that. No, I can't really say that either. I can say it's a form. It's a form that if you've been part of the drama community long enough, you know it does exist. You know it's a form. It's pretty much the father of all variations of Super Saiyan 4. In this video, in particular, if you can read the title, you can probably tell it's most likely going to be about the GT Super Saiyan 4. Not, we're not really talking about Dyna, we're not really talking about the, like, Limit Breaker, Heroes ones, because, I mean, those don't really matter too much. In the grand scheme of things, neither does this really. But if you've been around the community long enough, you know, GT Super Saiyan 4 kind of, it does have a divided fan base, which a lot of the GT Super Saiyan 4 fans will not tell you about, that it's not universally beloved. There's a camp that you like it or you dislike it. And if you can tell by the title and thumbnail, I'm in camp. I don't like it. I can't wait for people to be throwing pipe bombs in my house. Yeah, very excited for that, right? Because these people can get very angry. But again, this is the Dragon Ball community. I mean, you can literally just tell people to just point out something by just telling people to read the story and they'll get offensive about it. I mean, mostly when it's talking about this topic, it's gonna not really. So I can't speak for every single community, every single Dragon Ball group. From what I've seen, like it's kind of mixed all over the place. But from what I've seen, like in this video, kind of ties more into the American community, which generally the American Dragon Ball community is just full of a bunch of idiots. Anyways, I kind of don't. Yeah, I'm kind of glad no one really listens to the American community because it's like we're just a bunch of idiots. That's America as a whole, to be honest. Actually, probably just the planet as a whole. We're just a bunch of idiots. But so no. So if you could tell by this video, I don't like GT Super Saiyan 4. I will say I hate GT Super Saiyan 4, and I'm going to break down why. I'm not going to be one of those idiots who are like, oh, it's not candy. Oh, it's a GT Dragon. It's like, no, 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 no. It not being canon doesn't really matter. It being GT not having Toriyama's involvement, actually, that does matter. And you can see in quality of the writing, but no, no, no. See, I'm someone who cares about the story. If I say I dislike something, it's because I generally would have a what I would hopefully consider a valid reason. Just because I dislike something, just say, "Oh, well, it's valid because I know why." It's like, I mean, so you can people can dislike stuff and it's not being valid. It's just I just hope my criticism comes off a more valid criticism, more so than just be, "Oh, you just don't know what you're talking about. You hate it because you're stupid. You're stupid." And the other reason I am making this video right about now is because Legends Fest Part 3 reviews is coming up tomorrow, or actually, let's see, it's 1 o'clock, so I would say about 9 hours from now. So 9 hours from now, we're about to see Ultra Super Saiyan 4 Goku. GT, they pretty much like that. I'm hoping for part extra, extra Ultra Inuit Goku to punch him in the face. So I'm gonna kind of get started on the video, and we'll get talked about it. So if you read the thumbnail, if you've seen the title, I hate GT Super Saiyan 4, and I'm going to explain why in this video. You can see that. So I did just make this Google slide thing. It's just some just simple kind of just easier to do it all than editing. Like I am going to throw some edits in there. I am going to try and make this a video, but I do just want to keep things also just a little bit simpler as well. That just so it can be just a bit easier on me, given my laptop and situations like this video. So breaking down GT Super Saiyan 4. Of course, there will be clips and stuff as well. They're going to be probably blurred out for copyright reasons, but so you know, so break down why I hate GT Super Saiyan 4. I'm going to kind of have to explain what GT Super Saiyan 4 actually is. GT Super Saiyan 4, pretty much in the context of GT, is the ultimate Saiyan power. It's Goku combining, or, well, I'm going to pick Goku here, because Goku's is far more egregious than Vegeta's. It's pretty much combining the power of the Golden Uzaro, and then when you like Super Saiyan into Uzaro, and by taming the power of Golden Uzaro, and then you are able to transform into Super Saiyan 4. You're taking control of the Golden Uzaro and then turning into the ultimate Super Saiyan transformation. Alright, now that we get that kind of loose description out the way, pretty much what it is, it's a super ultimate form of the Super Saiyan and Uzaro combined together, turning into what you see on your screen is pretty much Goku's ultimate form in GT, in the GT Toei timeline. Of course, before Super. Um, so pretty much in excluding the original manga from what Toriyama wrote, because the original manga, Goku's ultimate form was Super Saiyan 3. In GT, it is Super Saiyan 4. So this is Goku's prime, ultimate, maximum form that he achieves. So now that we kind of get partially what Super Saiyan 4 is. It's pretty much just the tamed, controlled version of the power of Golden Rosario. And in fact, if you were to translate some of these guide statements, they do say that. So um, I'm not going to go over these translations because they're kind of not important to, like, because they're just meant to be just background stuff covering Super Saiyan 4. They're not meant to, like, really be anything really important. But of course, I can always just, I mean, you can pause the video and take a look at them if you wanted to. So now that we got the basics of what Super Saiyan 4 is, I'm going to now describe Goku's initial transformation. Again, like I said, Goku's is far more egregious, so I'm going to talk about Goku's. Pretty much, Goku, after coming back from the land of the Kais, after the Kais helped him be able to like pull his tail out, he pretty much looks at the Earth. The Earth causes him to go into Uzaru, and then he then transforms into Golden Uzaro during the process. Pan then shows up later while Goku is on a pure blind rampage, and she manages to the help of an image, and she pretty much is able to talk to him, reach down into him. Goku is then able to take control of the Golden Uzaro, and then he then transforms into Super Saiyan 4. Pretty much just very simple, straightforward stuff. Pretty much. And now that we kind of covered, I went over it, like I said, it's just very simple. Goku looks at the Earth, he transforms into Golden Rosario, Pan is able to reach into Goku's spirit, he's able to like help him regain control, and then he's then able to power up into Super Saiyan 4. So, oh, that's a little bit of a spoil. So, GT Super Saiyan 4. So, what is the problem with that? We're going to break down the transformation scene, the initial transformation scene. Oh, there's a lot to talk about. So, I would like to point out big number one. The Earth shouldn't be able to cause an Uzaro transformation. That's not how that works. See, if you were to read the original Dragon Ball manga, which in fact the GT writers probably did not read the original Dragon Ball manga, those toasters, like a lot of them, you actually were to look up the writers, like the writing staff for GT. None of them have ever worked on any Toriyama project before GT. Like none of them even did Dr. Slump. It's hard to even say how much they actually knew about Dragon Ball before they were even getting into writing for GT. And for me, it just generally does show. I can see how they just didn't know what they were writing because the Earth or planets have never been confirmed or stated to provide enough blood slaves to even transform into an Nazaru when there is not a moon, because there's pretty much blood waves or like moonlight is formed from sunlight. It's the sun hitting the moon, and then the moon is reflecting that sunlight. In that process, there is something called blood waves, which the moon produces the most amount of, and then the Saiyans are able to use that to transform into the Uzara form. When there is not a moon, the Saiyans developed a technique to where they can make an artificial moon, like Vegeta does in the Saiyan saga when he couldn't find a moon. The Saiyans made a whole technique to make an artificial moon to produce enough blood wave if there wasn't a moon. For GT to say, "Oh, well, Goku can look at the Earth and then that gives him enough blood wave," just goes against everything that was like done before. That was never been a stated thing. The fact that it works is just so astronomically stupid. Because if you go through the same saga and watch or read the same saga, Vegeta flew out to the atmosphere, but that never caused him to go into a Muzaro transformation. The Earth did not provide enough blood space or even any at all for him to go into Uzaro. He had to use the blood wave technique. They made a technique for that reason. For planets, if planets could provide enough blood space to cause the Uzaro transformation, they wouldn't need the moon. They wouldn't have needed to create a whole technique to make blood space. So already Goku even transforming into the Golden Uzaro already is a major red flag and kind of shows, hey, maybe did they watch the show? Did they read the original manga? Because when you're writing a sequel, this is a sequel to Toriyama's story. You are taking someone else's work and adapting it and making your own story. You have to follow the rules and the story they made before. If a character does something a certain way, then you have to stick to it. There's a certain action that must be done for something, or a character has a certain way they work, you have to stick to it. You have to stick to the rules of what the original creator did before. And of course, you can you can adapt them. You can add new things as long as it doesn't kind of contradict and go against what was previously established. This kind of goes against what was previously established because it was never established that plants can work like this. One, like this is already a big flag because the whole point is Goku has to transform into the Golden Zaru for him to actually access Super Saiyan 4. And of course, now we're going to now we're going to move on. So, big thing too, Golden Rosario is a very weird form. In fact, I'm not going to talk about that. I'm going to hold on this image for a little bit. Golden Rosario already is a very weird form because Super Saiyan, we're going to talk about this. Now, this could be argued more of a nitpick than more so an actual truly critique. So, if you want to just crumple this up and throw it, I mean, I'm not going to argue against it. Golden Zoro and Super Saiyan are pretty much the same equivalent. Super Saiyan, and we're going to talk about this later. Super Saiyan and the Super Saiyan transformations already require the Uzaro power for them to use Super Saiyan, and so in a way, Super Saiyan is Golden Uzaro. I wonder if my hand's looking the right way. I can't tell, so it's probably weird. Super Saiyan and Gold Rosario are pretty much equally the same thing. So pretty much what you're doing is you're taking Uzaru and then you're throwing Super Saiyan on top of it, but Super Saiyan already has Uzaru. I mean, I guess the way I can think about it is like, to me, it's always been kind of super weird because it's like Super Saiyan already has Uzaru in it, so you're basically turning Super Saiyan in Uzaru, but Super Saiyan like, for me, it just like it's just the process of my mind. The only way I could try to break it down is since Super Saiyan uses Uzaro, that if you were to access the Uzaro form, you could just instantly transform to Super Saiyan. It works maybe the same way it would normally, except you were in the physical Uzaro form. That'd be like the only way I could like describe it. But like this is more of a nitpick, but this whole form here has always been super weird to me. It just feels like a super weird rendition of just what Super Saiyan already is. Yeah. And to me, again, this is just more of a nitpick, so we can move on from this one. The one big talking point I want to get into is oh, Pan. Oh dear, poor Pan, GT Pan, what they did to her. Well, she's not a very well written character to begin with, and I love this whole section. When I mean by love, I mean I hate it. I hate it because it's just so much like luck and plot and like just Deus Ex Machina plot pull, like you're pulling strings for this to work. So in the context of GT, GT Goku and GT Pan do not have, I would say, a good grandfather granddaughter relationship. Pan has been very negative towards Goku, very condescending, talking down to Goku pretty much for the entirety of GT to this point. And for what proves and what helps add what's the icing on the cake is that they have her bring a picture of her and her grandfather and like a beach picture of when she was a kid, like younger, when she was a toddler. um, I like one why like it was just why would you even bring that to this kind of mission anyways? I mean, I get, like soldiers, they carry pictures of their family in the field of battle just to help give them morale boost. So, in that context, I get it. But if she didn't bring this picture, this whole thing wouldn't have happened. He would have not have gone Super Saiyan 4 if she didn't bring this picture. So I'm gonna break this down. So the picture that is shown and what leads to the Super Saiyan 4 transformation is a made up scene by Toei. Toei, in order to help convey the relationship between Goku and Pain, instead of letting the audience be able to feel their connection naturally by watching the show, Toei had to make up an entire scene because they did such a poor job, did such a terrible job at setting up Goku and Pain to have a really good bond, a really good relationship, that they had to make up an entire scene for you to care about Pan and Goku's relationship. Because if you watch GT, they don't have a good relationship. Pan is very toxic. She is very negative towards Goku. She's condescending to him. She's talking down to him throughout pretty much up to that point in the entirety of GT. When they've been together pretty much the entirety of GT by this point, and I wouldn't say they have a very good positive relationship. Scenes like this, you shouldn't have to make up something for you to understand the weight of the characters. In fact, a great transformation scene in general is Super Saiyan. We're going to keep talking about Super Saiyan. It's going to come very important very later. Super Saiyan. Imagine if Toriyama, when Krillin blows up, Toriyama then had Goku have a memory of a scene we never seen before, and it's him and Krillin being best friends. Toriyama in the middle of Krillin dying has a whole new scene that we've never seen before to help establish that Goku and Krillin were best friends this whole entire time. Oh wait, but he doesn't, because by that point in the story, you already know Krillin and Goku are best friends. You already know how much Krillin's death has negatively impacted Goku before, so you know how devastating this is going to be for Goku. This is not the case in GT. The fact is they had to make up a whole scene that's not part I like not part now you can quote me on this one if I am necessarily wrong about this part because I haven't fully watched the original Z anime because I could not be bothered to. I personally cannot be bothered to, especially for filler scenes, I'm not going to be bothered with that. But from the context of GT, they made up a whole scene that's not in the original manga, that, as far as I know, wasn't in the Z anime, for them to establish a connection between Goku and Pan. I'm sorry, for what's supposed to be the big transformation scene, you shouldn't need to do that. There should already be such a strong enough connection between the two characters that the scene should flow naturally. Two, why does like Goku as a rampaging blind Uzaru just randomly grab a piece of paper in front of him? Do you know what the Uzaru is? The Uzaru is like you got it right. The Uzaru was just a rampaging monster. It's not gonna like a little piece. Oh, oh, oh. Like, no, if it was that simple to stop an Izaro, to distract an Izaro, you know how less threatening the Saiyans would be? The whole point the Saiyans were feared is because of their Uzaro transformation, their demonic transformation, their demonic energy that they had. They were so greatly feared because of that. But if it was so simple to simply distract them with a piece of paper in front of them, they wouldn't be so threatening. So, like, why does that actually work? Again, if Goku did not grab this, if Pan did not bring that picture, and that picture did not fall out of her book bag, and Goku didn't like right in front of Goku, and Goku decided is a blind rampaging Uzaru who has no physical control over himself. The Uzaru is taking full swing of control. He's a blind, destructive being. It decided to randomly grab the picture he would not have gone Super Saiyan 4. No other transformation has ever worked like this in the context of Dragon Ball. No other transformations has needed so many things to just go right. Pan had to bring that specific picture. Pan had to drop that picture right in front of Goku. The Uzaru happened to see the picture and decided to randomly grab the picture. There is no context or reason for it to grab the piece of paper in front of it, considering it was just destroying a whole city with people screaming not too long ago. But yet, as soon as this picture, oh, 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 oh. Like it's just so stupid when you actually break this down. This whole thing is just mind-bogglingly stupid because already like Earth shouldn't even provide any blood space for him to go Goluzaru. If that pan just even worked to begin with, and then he then transforms into Super Saiyan 4. Now I'm going to talk about the design. So Super Saiyan 4's design, as you were to you can get from here. Super Saiyan 4 design is what one Nikatsu said he picked red. The Super Saiyan 4 GT Super Saiyan 4. I need to stop jumping ahead of myself. GT Super Saiyan 4 was designed by Nikatsu. Nikatsu was the character designer of Dragon Ball GT. He did get some very minor help from Toriyama. Toriyama did some light corrections. Pretty much this is closer to the original concept art Nakatsu did come up with. Toriyama did give some light corrections, but that was just about it. But Nakatsu is pretty much, he's the one who created GT Super Saiyan 4. He's the one who is the father of Super Saiyan 4. This one, Daima, your heroes, like, you wouldn't have any other version of Super Saiyan 4 without Nakatsu designing it. Nakatsu based the form like he picked red because red was strong, and then he also has been stated though I don't know. So if you want to take this with a grain of salt, you can. I cannot find the specific message, the specific like thing that says what he did, but these based it on kabuki dancers. So these are special types of dancers in Japan. Pretty much they've been around for like years, like hundreds, if not like thousands of years, pretty much. And pretty much he did take inspiration from these guys. In fact, you can see like if you see the long hair, I'll use the mouse here. Like you can tell the long hair here around shoulders, long hair around shoulders, the eyeliners, like the eyeliner on the face here, on the face mask, and the eyeliner here on GT. So like you can already see like what I am talking about here. I don't know if there is any special meaning behind it because like the kabuki dancers pretty much means like strange. It means like dance skill and it's like strange, like dance and strange movement from what I've been able to pick up and gather about this. Of course, I haven't like dove deep into the whole kabuki like dancer lore, so I don't know how fully true that is. But from what I can gather, like I don't think there is a true narrative purpose for this. It is just because Nakatsu did just want to. Like he picked red because he just thought red was strong, and in fact I should hopefully have a scan that is confirming that he just thought red was strong. So a lot of people say, "Oh, the red is from the Uzaru." No, he just picked red because red was strong. There's no actual if you look to there's no actual lore behind GT Super Saiyan 4's design. And I do want to go on a tirade about this because this also does not make sense. So Dragon Ball and GT, there's no magic in GT. The only beings who have magic are assumingly the Kais, the Supreme Kais. They don't use their magic on helping Goku transform into well, they do, like, sort of. They help him sort of regrow his tail, but then they pull it out fully. It's such a weird scene. So, like, Goku grinds coffee beans, his tail starts to regrow, but then the Tanuki raccoon people transform to a pair of pliers, and they help physically pull Goku's tail out. But, like, they kind of remove Kami's magic, but they don't fully use their own magic to help him get the tail. I want to talk about this. So there's no real magic in this form. So explain to me how you go from this to this. this to this. This is such a drastic change. Like golden fur to red fur and black hair. Like it's such a weird transformation. This makes no logic. This makes no logical sense. There's no logic behind it. It's super random. It's like, oh well, Super Saiyan 3 grows longer hair. Yeah, there's a difference between your hair growing longer and then going from a golden giant monkey to a red furred monkey with pants. There's no magic. This is not magical. This is just pure key, and there's no explanation for it. This doesn't make any real logical sense. There's a difference between your hair just spiking up and turning blonde, because yeah, it's not explained why it's blonde. Just Toriyama didn't want to color it. Sure, like the costume just wanted to be red. Sure, but I feel like there's a big difference from a simple, just like your hair spikes up and it's blonde, from going from a golden giant monkey to a red man monkey with red fur. Like, where does the red, like, there's a transition here that doesn't make sense. The black fur, like, there's like, if you were to look at this and say this came from this, but yet they share no similarities. There's nothing about this form that even resembles this. Oh, the fur and the tail. No, a fur and a tail does not make the Uzaru the Uzaru. The Uzaru is meant to represent the demonic nature of the Saiyans. It is a demonic form. It is a terrifying form of destructive force and power. People feared the Saiyans because of the Uzaru. What is destructive about this? What is demonic about this? He doesn't change his personality like he does with Super Saiyan. There's no influence of the Yuzaru. It's just a normal, like, man. In fact, I argue he looks more like a lion than he does Uzaru. The whole point is Uzaru is its towering size, that it's not just a giant monkey, it's a giant demonic monkey that is just bent on destruction. It's bent on destroying every single piece of life around it. What about this form matches that? What about this form resembles any of these two? This looks nothing like this. In fact, like, I would honestly say, oh, if you were to guess what comes after this form, what would you guess? Would it be this? No. In fact, it's just so random how he just, like, he starts morphing into this. This morphs, like, has a, like, metamorphosis into this. How? How does this morph into this? There's no logic behind it because you need this to go into this. There's like, oh, Super Saiyan 2. Oh, Super Saiyan 2, the hair just gets spikier. It just gets lightning. Like, yeah, sure. It's not explained. It, like, you could say, oh, well, it's not explained as well. Yeah, but it's just your hair gets spikier. It's not such a big, drastic, sharp jumping difference between your hair gets spikier or your hair just gets longer. That's it. It's simpler changes. It's simpler minor changes, but this is just such a night and day drastic change that comes right out of nowhere because there's no setup for this. If you were to go from Pain Chest Goku to picture Goku, then like he beats his chest, he powers up and then turns into this. There's no setup for this. This comes right out of nowhere. There's no build up to this. How is the audience ever supposed to figure out? Because other guys, like, oh yes, that's what I was pushing him to the entire time. Like, no, you weren't. You just said that to make yourself sound smarter. But the reality is, like, no one, like, the audience never could have expected this. And there is, like, you can say, oh, well, unexpected transformations can work. Like, you can do unexpected transformations. Sorry about all the editing. It turns out my microphone headset wasn't plugged in. I'm sorry about that. I know, super unprofessional video. Y'all have to forgive me. But like audience, you can do unexpected transformations like Super Saiyan. I'm gonna keep bringing up Super Saiyan because that's like the best transformation besides Ultra Instinct. Super Saiyan, it was built up to that Super Saiyan was this monstrous transformation. What like this monstrous form, such a powerful destructive form, a violent destructive form. That if the person was turned into Super Saiyan, they turned into a pure bloodlust. And well, that's how Toriyama built up the form. But what was the form in reality? A simple, now we're going to talk about this, a simple spike hair color change. No one was expecting this. That does lead, this is a positive because it does the opposite of what you expected. Instead of Super Saiyan being a physically monstrous form, it is a mentally monstrous form. Thanks to the user power of Super Saiyan, Goku's personality does become far more aggressive and far more monstrous than it would have
than unlike his usual self. His Super Saiyan transformation was not a giant monstrous form physically, it was one mentally. Toriyama was able to flip your expectations of what you were expecting, but still did pull off the truth. It was still was a monster deep down. And then you look at this again. How what's the actual logic behind this? Like there's no simplest. This does not look like a Uzaru. This has nothing to do with the Uzaru transformation. Does not capture anything of the Uzaru transformation. And it's just, again, it's just there's no connection between these two. It just comes right out of nowhere. How is the audience ever supposed to figure out that by controlling the Uzaru power and transforming into a Super Saiyan, that if you control it and then you morph into this, how does that work? This again, there's so many jumps and just sharp jumping bullshit that it's mind numbing to me. It's mind numbing to me that people just accept this because if GT came out today, if it came out today, the amount of stuff it does would get so roasted, so flamed like how many shows do today that it goes against what the original creator did. Oh, this was done so poorly. This is nothing like how it was done before. But people just accept it because it's just I can't and that's just a transformation scene. Like Goku's is far more egregious when we get into the narrative of Super Saiyan 4. The narrative of Super Saiyan 4 is, well, I'm going to pull this up. There's multiple things I want to talk about. I'm going to talk about this. So this was from a questionnaire. This was before I think when Super Saiyan 4 came out. And of course, we're going to go over it. The narrative of Super Saiyan 4, like I said, it is pretty much supposed to be the ultimate Super Saiyan power. Goku's maximum form in the GT timeline. We're going to break down why it's so fundamentally flawed. GT Super Saiyan 4. One of the first things we're going to talk about, and the thing that makes me the most, I actually say it's disgusting for what they did. For when we're going to read this, we're going to read this. Why was Super Saiyan 4 chosen? The transformation was conceived from the very beginning as a way to further release Goku's potential. No, it was not. Also for the final battle brigade, the strongest enemy who combines the power of the Saints and Tuffles, a warrior who can surpass Super Saiyan 3 is needed. Therefore, the staff came up to the conclusion the only option is to introduce 4. Incitingly, Super Saiyan 4 was designed in with the concept of a legendary Super Saiyan who appears once in a millennium. This is why number 4 is a blood ready warrior than the traditional gold. This is just complete horseshit because Nakashira said it's just red because he wanted it to be red because he thought red was strong. There's nothing that now you can argue this. Let's read this again. A legendary Super Saiyan. Super Saiyan 4 is the true legendary Super Saiyan. Super Saiyan 4 is the true legendary Super Saiyan. Not Broly. Not Goku. No. This form that Toriyama the legendary Super Saiyan this form that Frieza was afraid of. No. This wasn't the form Frieza was afraid of. This isn't the real legendary Super Saiyan. No. This is the real legendary Super Saiyan. This is the real legendary Super Saiyan. Not that form Toriyama made. No. This was what Frieza was afraid of. This is the real legend that was spoken of 1,000 years ago. Fuck you. To the GT Riders, I hope you would never write a single thing again, because if this came out today and people were to actually read and do any sort of basic research on Super Saiyan 4, and were to learn about this stuff, wow, it would almost be like this is a spit in the face of what Toriyama wrote. How dare you? How dare you have the nerve, the goal, the sheer audacity to basically say, "Oh, what we made is the real legendary Super Saiyan. This was what Frieza was afraid of, not what you came up with. This is the real deal." It's like No. This is the legendary Super Saiyan. This is what Frieza was afraid of. This is the form that appeared once every 1,000 years. This is how Toriyama wrote it, and Toriyama made this in the original manga. This is the original. This is the legendary Super Saiyan. This is what Frieza was afraid of. This is what was built up to. This was the form from 1,000 years ago. Not this. No. There's never, no, not even the context of the original Z anime was this ever even conceived. Like, there's never a hint of, oh, the golden star. No. The point of that was that's what Vegeta thought the form was, because remember how Toriyama built the original Super Saiyan was to be this monstrous, massive form. The golden Uzaru was not meant to actually be an actual transformation. Vegeta, it was okay, the whole point, and we're gonna talk about Vegeta later because he does come up later in this discussion. The whole point of Vegeta was that meant to misunderstand the true Saiyan power. He does not know what the Saiyans were truly capable of. He thought the Super Saiyan was an Uzaru because that's what Saiyans transformed into, was Uzarus. He did not know that Saiyans can do this. That was the point. The whole point was to build up the audience expectation, expect this big monstrous form, and this is what it was. It was not a big monstrous form, but much rather a simple hair color. And so it's brilliant because it's just like you weren't expecting this. Like again, you're expecting this big, bulky form, and it's this. No one would have expected this. And it helps add into Vegeta having no idea, or like the Saiyans having no idea what their true power was. But oh no, it turns out, if you just regrow your tail, transform into an Ozaru, and go Super Saiyan, you transform into this form. And this is so much better than Super Saiyan. No, this is the real legendary Super Saiyan. I can't, because like if you like again, like here it is. Here's the words right here, right in front of you. A real interview right here, right in front of you. A legendary Super Saiyan. This is meant to be like, of course, this is a story they made Broly to be like. If this doesn't prove, like, just read this interview. Let's read this again. This transformation was conceived from the very beginning. No, it was not. The very beginning they had no intention of making this form in the very beginning, because if you read other interviews about GT, they had to cut episodes because they thought the original beginning was too boring. There was never a hint of anything like this happening in the beginning of GT. Not one bit at all. There was no need. There was no build up. There was no hint to anything like this at all. The fact this was ever quote unquote conceived as one, that is a big hairy sack of shit. A big hairy sack of shit. The only option was to introduce four. Like number four is a red-blooded warrior. It's red because like Nikatsu thought red was strong. Like this whole interview, it's like it's just so full of shit. And it just makes me mad that they're just saying this and like people buy it. People I don't read the original manga. I just don't get to understand reading. It's just I hate people. I hate stupid people. Stupid people who buy into this. People buy into this. They buy into that this is a good form when if you were to read the original manga, read the original. Did you GT Riders? Hey, you GT Riders, who came up with this? Did you read the original manga? I smell your eyes. I know the lie, and I'm so sure you burn for it. No, they didn't read the original manga because then they would understand why this doesn't work in a second way. So let's talk about the other part Vegeta was wrong about, and the tail. Now remember, in the original manga, it is a very big point that the tails were brought. It's like, oh, you lost your tail, Kakarot, and you're weak because you lost your tail. You can't access the true Saiyan power because Vegeta and the other Saiyans, Raditz and the other Saiyans, thought the true Saiyan power was the Ozaru form physically. The whole point of that, the whole point was that they were wrong. Understand it with me. They were wrong. They were wrong because it wasn't the tail that gave the Saiyans their true power. The tail was holding them back. If you read the original manga, once the Saiyans lose their tail, they actually get stronger. And how do you know this? Oh, who was the first one to become Super Saiyan? Who was the first one who lost their tail, who gained the Uzaro power in their form physically, and their normal human form? Who transformed into Super Saiyan first? Was it the guy who lost his tail first? Is there a correlation there? I don't know. I don't know. You tell me. Oh, little Jimmy in the back. Oh, I see your hand, little Jimmy. You raise your hand. Tell you, I can tell you. Oh, little Jimmy, look at you. You think you know something? No, tell me, little Jimmy. Is there a correlation? Yeah, it's because the once the Saiyan lost their tail, they're getting their restoral power in their normal physical form. That leads them to transform into a Super Saiyan. Good job, little Jimmy. You see, you know what you're talking about, little Jimmy, and you know what you win. You get a prize. Well, what's my prize?
Come over here and
You get
kiss me on my
you get
hot
beat to death
mouth.
publicly by
I'm the
chimpanzees.
pitiful
What?
prince.
And look at that. They're ripping out little Jimmy's heart. Anyways, talking about this, yeah, the whole point is that no, this right here uses the Uzaru power. The whole point was that the tail was holding back the Saiyans because look at Super Saiyan transformation. Name me one Super Saiyan transformation with a tail. Name me one Saiyan who went Super Saiyan with a tail. And no, I'm not counting Shallot. I'm not talking about heroes. I'm talking about every single story project that had truly had Toriyama's involved. The original manga. Goku, Vegeta, Trunks, Gohan, Goten. Not a single one of them had a tail. But yet when they went Super Saiyan. Dragon Ball Super. Kaba, Kale, Caulifla. Did they have a tail? No. Speaking of Universe 6 Saiyans, they evolved. They evolved to lose the need of their tail. The Saiyans didn't need their tail, and therefore they actually were stronger than the normal Universe 7 Saiyans because they didn't rely on their Uzaro transformations. They evolved and gained the Uzaro power naturally in them, which allowed them to transform into Super Saiyan easier. Wow, it's almost like there's a correlation. And in fact, from the word of Toriyama himself, the tail lets you gain tremendous strength instantly by transforming into a giant ape, but the risks are equally great. You'll lose your strength if it's squeezed. Once you're as powerful as Goku and Vegeta, the tail gets in the way. It is thought that the bodies of Saiyans who were fighting species decided that their tails were unnecessary. From the word of Toriyama, from Toriyama's own mouth. I don't even need to say anything. I don't even need to explain this. Do I need to explain why GT going against what the original manga and what Toriyama has stated himself decided to, oh, the true power actually was in the Saiyan Tails. You're wrong, Toriyama. You don't know your own story. You don't know what you're talking about, Toriyama. No, Toriyama. You got it all wrong. The true power was in the Saiyan Tails all along. All you gotta do is regrow your tail, transform into an Azuru, and then go turn into Super Saiyan, and bam, you get an Ultimate Saiyan form. Duh, Toriyama, you have no idea what you're talking about, Toriyama. You don't know your own story. Am I getting the point across at this point? I hope I'm getting the point across. I'm hoping you understand my point. My whole point about this. Because I'm not saying this because, oh, you're just you're a canon fan. You're a Toriyama bootlicker. No. As someone who enjoys writing, as someone who has studied writing, when you're writing a sequel, I'm going to reiterate this point. When you're writing a sequel, oh, okay, give me a second. We're going to do a cut. Sorry about all the messy editing. I will say that is a bad point of this video, but I'm trying to also get it out before Legends reveal so I can mark it on the Super Saiyan 4 hype. When you're writing a sequel, You want to stick to consistently how the original writer did. Of course, you want to expand and explore new things. Of course, that's the point of the sequel, is to do new things and to take the characters in new directions. But you also have to stick to the consistency. You have to be consistent with it. You have to stick with the original lore that the original creator had established. Taking what the original creator did and spitting on it and going, yeah, we're gonna do our thing now because our thing is better because all we need people to watch our dog shit show is gross. It is disgusting. It is honestly just verbatim. It is just a shitty thing to do to take someone else's story. You're taking someone else's hard-earned, love-crafted story. Like, yeah, Toriyama wasn't. He wasn't writing the story for charity. He needed to make money. You know, he did come up with transformations to way to increase people into reading the story. Like, yeah, obviously, he's trying to make money. He had to make a living. I mean, he was already a millionaire thanks to Dr. Slump, but yeah, he wasn't doing it for a charity bid. He needed to make money. That's why, like, he came up with Super Saiyan, Super Saiyan 2, Super Saiyan 3. Like, yeah, he integrated properly into the story, made him feel like actual parts of the story, but he was also using it to make more money, get more people to read the form. Oh, you want to see Gohan's transformation? Combine the manga. I mean, again, it's storytelling. I mean, when you're a writer, you have to make money. When you're a mangaka, you have to get people to read your manga. If people are not reading your manga, you're not making money. You're not going to pay bills. But then you do it the way GT did. You basically ignore everything the original story did. You ignore what Toriyama wrote. You ignore what Toriyama has said. You basically say, "Oh, our thing is better. Our thing is better, kids, because please watch our shit. Please watch our dog shit. Please." I got please watch our dog shit show. Please watch it. Please. The fuck do you have for me? I need the money. Please, we need something. Toy. Oh, kids, make the toy. You want a new toy for Christmas? Oh, you want a new toy? I know. A new toy. You have a new toy, kid. Look, toy. They did it because GT, of course, as the GT tards they're going to tell you GT did well. No, it didn't. You too many research. No, it didn't. So they came up with this because they needed people to watch their show. Well, what's the easiest way to get people to watch something? Oh, you do something nobody would expect. Oh, you introduce a new transformation. How do you get people to watch your show? Introduce a new transformation, a new toy. A new toy, kids. New toy. And people will they will hate Super Saiyan Blue, they will hate Super Saiyan God, Ultra Instinct, Ultra Ego, Orange Piccolo, Beast go on for this, but yet GT Super Saiyan 4, it gets to pass because and that's just what makes me so mad and just so disgusted because this was a form that was not created for passion or love because it was made for passion and love. They would understand, oh hey, it does not work because the entire story said tails shouldn't work like that. You don't need your tail to grow stronger. In fact, they got stronger without their tails because once they lost their tails, they got Super Saiyan, Super Saiyan 2, Super Saiyan 3. So no, you don't need your tail to grow stronger. That was kind of the whole point of the story. Oh, and they're already using Uzoro power in the Super Saiyan transformations. You do research. You learn about Super Saiyan, and of course, that's not the icing on the cake. There's already all this, but there's still more. Still more about this form. There's still more. There's still more. And when I'm talking about Super Saiyan, like, no. You think it basically saying, oh, this isn't the real legendary Super Saiyan. This wasn't the form Frieza was afraid of. No. It copies. So let's break down Super Saiyan's transformation and let's break down GT Super Saiyan 4. How Goku got Super Saiyan. So I'm going to summarize it very nice and sweet. Goku got Super Saiyan because it's a combination of his Earthling ideology and Saiyan biology, and through the help of a loved one, in this case, a very tragic loss of a loved one, his body pretty much went in a super hyper defensive mode, much like the Ozaru tail. Like if you remember, of course, if you read the original manga, the tail of the Saiyans will regrow if they're in a very defensive, and if their body needs it. If their body needs it, if their body's like, oh, I need to grow stronger. Hey, I am in danger. I need to grow stronger. Their tail will regrow. This happened with Goku in the 21st World Tournament against Jiren and against Gohan in the Saiyan Saga. Goku, of course, gaining Uozora power in his normal form, lost the ability to grow his tail because his body, like one Kami, pretty much blocked it, and two, it would not have done anything because he already gained Uozora power in his form physically. That would have done nothing. So instead, when he was faced against Frieza and facing the tragic loss of his best friend, his body went into a super hyper defensive mode. He is combining his earthling bio, his same biology in his earthling ideology of him being from Earth, him training, him taking in the principles him and Roshi and Gohan instilled into him, and it combines that to transform into the legendary Super Saiyan. GT. Goku combining his earthling ideology with his Saiyan biology, and then through the help of a loved one, in this case not Travis, through the desperate cries of Pan, is able to transform and mutate into the legendary Super Saiyan. Now, yes, they are different, was in the context of them. The context of Pan is not dying. Goku had to transform to basically into Super Saiyan first to get this. Goku had to look at the Earth. It's like, yeah, there are differences between them, but the mainline narrative is Goku is combining his earthling ideology with his Saiyan biology and transforms into the legendary Super Saiyan. It is the exact same thing as Super Saiyan. So not only are they saying this is the legendary Super Saiyan, they're ripping off Super Saiyan. That's the Toei special. It just rips off everything that came before because they're just too stupid to actually come up with anything new. They're just too stupid to come up with anything new. Do y'all understand why I hate this form? Are y'all beginning to grasp why I hate this form? Do y'all understand that? In fact, if you reach this point of view, I mean, we're pretty much done by this point. I pretty much ripped everything new in. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think Vegeta's is as bad as Goku's. It does suffer the same issues, but at least when it comes to Vegeta's narrative, it is his family helping him, which is actually not a bad narrative. I do think GT Super Saiyan 4 for Vegeta is not bad at all. No, 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 no. I think the narrative is not bad. I think there's still issues at the form of like it's kind of weird design. Like we can still talk about its design if I wanted to. Like it has a weird mohawk. Like it's basically a weird mohawk. Its hair gets like if you look at recent iterations, like its hair is super skinny. Like it doesn't look right in a lot actually. So of course I can't fully explain to the fullest potential why the design is bad because when it comes to kind of the artist point, I'm not very necessarily good at that part. I can explain narratively why it's terrible, but when it comes to just the general design part, there's other people who could better explain the design. I mean, I could talk about it somewhat, but I feel like at this point, I'm better at talking about the narrative. And if you watch this point of this video, if you decided to sit through this and listen to a 22-year-old man rant about a Japanese cartoon, thank you. Thank you for doing that. Actually, that does mean a lot if you reach this point in the video. And to be honest, if you watch this video and you like Super Saiyan GT Super Saiyan 4, I hope I ruined it for you. I hope when you look at it, you find it as gross and disgusting as I do. I hope I did. Because you know what? In the spirit of Christmas, you're a mean one, Mr. Grinch. I hope I ruined it for you. I hope I got you to understand why I hate this form. But there is some good news. Was Daima introducing Super Saiyan 4? It is actually being pushed out. I mean, it's still in the gacha games like Legends. Like I'm making this right before Legends does its Part 3 Ultra reveal, which has basically been confirmed to be GT Super Saiyan 4. So, like, it's still going to be prevalent, but not very much so. Like, I've seen people who've been to Japan, they've shown me, I can try to find the screenshots and, like, stuff of, like, there's nothing besides, like, GT Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, which, oh, if you, oh, is his ass preparing to be in the fryer? I am ready. I am prepared. I've been wanting to make this video for a hot minute. I've been wanting to make a video about him. I want to deep fry his fraud ass so bad. But he's next. He's next on the chopping block. He's sitting there on that prep station. He's looking at me. He's begging it here. Look at him. Look at him. Look what I did to him. Yeah, and this is only the beginning, because I'll rip him apart even more. In fact, and the rest of you, yeah, look at him screaming in agony for what I'm about to do to him. He's gonna wish he was never born. Anyways, so besides these psychopathic tendencies, yeah, there's a lot of videos about Dragon Ball I've been wanting to make because, especially GT. I know that sounds terrible. I hate GT. But I just feel like there's so many people who like GT who are gatekeeping information and like kind of like not showing the real perspective of the real truth of the matter. And that kind of really bugs me because you got people, GT turds, I'm gonna call them GT turds because they're turds, um, because they're like, oh, what you're saying is wrong because so, but it's like if you watch the show and read the original manga, oh, hey, actually, what I'm saying has merit. I'm not one of those people saying, oh, well, it sucks because it's not kid. It's like, no, it sucks because it spits on what Toriyama made. It pretty much says, oh, hey, our thing's better than what you made, Toriyama. Uh, fuck you, Toriyama. And I find that apparent, and I find that generally disgusting because one, Toriyama was a really nice person. One, he was an amazing manga, amazing storyteller. Without Toriyama, name how many stories we would have had without Toriyama. Name how many stories we would have gotten without Toriyama. I can say there's gonna be quite a lot. I would say there's gonna be quite a lot that we would not have had without Toriyama. Toriyama was was a gift from God. Like I do believe in God. You know, I'm gonna say I do, and the Lord blessed us with Toriyama. For you to just basically say, "Oh, my thing is better than your thing," to me, again, to him, it's like that's the biggest. Like, and ultimately, he just did not care. He just viewed it as Toei's thing, and he just views like Nakatsu's thing, and he has his own thing, and that is the truth of the matter. Toriyama just did not care about GT. He most likely just forgot it even existed by some point. Which because he just viewed it mostly as just Toei's thing, like just Toei's project. It's their thing, you know. I have my thing, like they have Gogeta, I have Vegito type thing. So ultimately, you know, but for me, it just drives someone like me mad because it's like again, you're taking someone else's story, someone else's work that they put so much time and effort into, and then you're just no, no, no. Because you just want to sell more toys. Toys, kids. Please watch your slop. Please. Please. It's my friends do. They don't. They don't. They want to. And it's just like I just find it apparent. I feel like I hope I was able to explain clearly why, and I'm going to do over a quick, sweet summary. The reason why I hate GT Super Saiyan 4 is one, it spits in the face of what came before. It comes right out of nowhere. There was no good build up to it. It basically just really does feel like, hey, we need money, we need people to watch our show, and people will ride on Super Saiyan Blue. They will ride on Ultra Instinct for doing this. But yet, GT Super Saiyan 4, because it just gets away with it because of nostalgia. Because there's GT turds who are going to gaslight people, who are going to make people believe this thing. Because say you don't like GT Super Saiyan 4 on Twitter, you know how many people are going to be like, "Oh, you're stupid. You don't like it." No, I'm not stupid. I actually just read the story and understand what GT Super Saiyan 4 is trying to be, and I hate it for it. I hate it that because it's just being like it's stepping on Super Saiyan to make itself look like the next best thing. No, you're not even close to the pinnacle of Super Saiyan. There's only one form that rivals Super Saiyan, and that's autonomous Ultra Instinct. It's the only form that comes close to Super Saiyan. And you're no Ultra Instinct, buddy. You're not even close to Ultra. You're the bottom of the barrel. You're the bottom of the barrel. Look at him screaming in pain. Look at his face in pain, writhing in pain and suffering. I'm gonna bring more. I'm gonna go through the trenches of GT, and I'm gonna put you on a stake. In fact, I'll let D16 say it for me.
No, I want to kill him! I want to put Sentinel in chains and march him through the mines so everyone can see him for the false prime that he is! I want him to suffer and then to die in darkness!
Yeah, like that D16, like that Megatron. I'm going to put you on the cross. And I'm going to watch you burn and suffer, and when you're screaming in agony, begging for mercy, I'm going to say no. I want you to suffer. I want you to burn. I want everyone to see you as the false prophet that you are. That you're not a good form. You're a dirty cash grab. That's all GT is. It's a dirty rat cash grab, but done in the most apparent way possible. With no love. With no thought put into it. But people pretend it does. And I hate those people. No, sorry, God. I don't hate those people. I shouldn't say hate. Hate is a bad word. I shouldn't hate people over stuff like this. And that is wrong for me to say. And I will say, that was wrong for me to say. I wish people were smarter than this. I wish people were able to understand the story better. I wish those people who think GT is good, I wish for them to be smarter. I want them to be better. I want people to understand the story better. I'm not some sensei. I'm not saying I'm Sensei Wu unless I am. Long before time. But I'm not saying I'm some grand elder guru of Dragon Ball. I'm not saying I am, but I've seen so many people just defend this form, defend GT, and all I can say is why. Like, if you were to look at it, if you just watch it, why do you actually like it? And I've seen people say, I just don't care. Well, if you don't care, get out. I don't want you in this fandom. If you don't care about the story, get out of this fandom. You don't deserve to be in this fandom. You deserve to be in someone else's shoes, to be someone else's personal patience problem that I'm not dealing with because I'm tired of idiots. I don't like idiots. I don't like stupid people. I am allergic to stupid people because it just ticks me because I'm a pretty much a grown, probably autistic man child. I'll admit what I am. I'll admit it. I'll admit what I am. When people get information wrong about a franchise I am deeply invested in, that I am pretty much obsessed over, like Dragon Ball, and I know they're wrong, and I know they're wrong, and I know it, and I know it, and I can prove it, and then they say I'm wrong despite me showing them the evidence. This is the American Dragon Ball fandom. Like, I've had so many debates where if they were just to look at the pictures, the colored pictures, you'd be able to understand, but they don't, and it makes me want to cry every time we say good. The Penny welcome to Terry. I'm getting off topic, but it just hurts me. It just irks me in such a way, just like I can't describe it. I'm working better on responding to them less. but they're still out there. And despite Daima pushing GT Super Saiyan 4 further under the rug, which is what we pray for times like those, it's still going to be somewhat prevalent because it is just gaslit so many people. American fans have gaslit themselves into thinking it's good. And you know what the problem is? It's 2025, almost 2026. You can Google. It's right there. At the palm of your hands. Google. Whatever browser you use. You can look this up. You can look this information up. Now, I will say getting some of these guides and stuff is very hard because a lot of them are gate-kept in Japan. So I will not pretend that getting Dragon Ball guides and information it's not easy. How people do it is beyond me. Like I've gotten debates about hero stuff. It's like you know how hard it is to actually get heroes information in like not in when you're not in Japan to get those guides and stuff. Like how people do it amazes me. How people will find this information amazes me, and I'm thankful for those people. Those people who've managed to dig deep into like the archives to pull up this information. I am thankful for you people. But I wish other people were to. Like again, this is like you get GT turds just making these videos on YouTube. Oh, what's the greatest thing ever? Super Saiyan Blue is terrible. Ultra Instinct sucks. But I'm gonna pretend GT Super Saiyan 4 despite it doing the exact same things, but worse. Despite it ripping on Super Saiyan, despite it stepping on Super Saiyan on the story Toriyama wrote, I'm going to pretend it's good because but that's enough of me. That's enough of me. I gotta get this video edited and posted hopefully tonight or hopefully before the reveals happen. I'm hopefully going to be able to do a reaction because I got a big brain. I have a big brain. I'm in I know your game, Tony. I'm in your head, Tony. I'm watching you, Tony. But this is gonna be it for me. This is gonna be Kiryu signing off. If you all made it to the end of the video, and thank you all for watching. If you leave a comment, if you disagree, if you disagree, if you still disagree, I cannot help you, and I'm not going to try to help you. I'm just gonna say, like, if you disagree this much, you're able to please just freely leave. Don't even like leave a comment. I'm not going to be able to deal with people. I will get irate, and I'm trying to work better on that. But I would feel better if maybe if you just didn't leave a comment. But of course, maybe if this helped you, maybe understand it a little bit better, maybe why people just truly dislike it. I hope it did help. I hope it did help you gain some hate for it as much as I do. I hope this video actually does come out professional as well, and not just, some man-child ranting on the internet, though that's pretty much what it is. But hey, this has been Kiryu. I'm signing off. Y'all have a good rest of your night, and a Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays, whatever holiday you celebrate. Hanukkah, whatever holidays around this corner. I'm not very informed as that, but so whatever holiday you celebrate, I hope you have a good holiday, and that will be it for me. Goodbye.